If anybody says to me, what do you like in a tarot deck or oracle deck? What art style do you prefer? It is this. Hand-drawn, vintage feel, not modern computer generated or collage. You know, they have their place, but for me, this is tarot, and I absolutely love it. Up me ducks, welcome back to the Hermit's Cave. I hope everybody's doing okay. I don't know when this is going to go out. At the minute, we're nearing the end of March, and I'll probably schedule this to go out over the next couple of nights. I wanted to get to the end of the month. So if you recall, last month, I shared what my deck was going to be that I would be working with for the month of March, and it's here. It's on my desk because I've been working with it, obviously, and I've had some fantastic readings with this deck. So this is the Magical Nature Tarot. Now, if you're so inclined, I will do, after I've gone through my decks for April, I'll add on to the end how I got on with this deck, because a few people have said to me, let me know how you get on. And I think if I'm going to be doing a deck of the month that I'm going to be working with, then it'll be nice to come back at the end of the month and say how I got on with it. So I'll tag it onto these videos. All right, so I'm going to have a sup of my drink and share with you these decks. So if you did see the video in beginning, either end of February, beginning of March, I think it was end of February, I explained that I'd got, as many of us have, an ever increasing wish list. My wish lists are indie decks because I can quite easily, he says, purchase mass market decks fairly easily, or I'm sent quite a lot for review anyway. But every so often I will see a deck that rarely speaks to me, but it's a huge investment. Most decks are from overseas when they're independently produced, and with shipping and taxes and everything else, they're very expensive. And so rather than doing what I've done in the past and bought on impulse, I'll add them to a list, ponder them, watch some walkthroughs, and then if I feel that I'm in a position where I can purchase a deck, then I will purchase it. And last month I said that I will probably, to try and whittle down my wish list, I will purchase a deck each month and work with it almost exclusively. And I say almost because I've been using the Magical Nature Tarot in the mornings and then using other decks like my Greenwood in the evenings. I've been mixing up the evening ones, but I want to work with the deck of the month at least once a day, so every day. These decks have been on my list for, this one in particular, the tarot, for about a year. This one not as long. And it never occurred to me until I was looking through my list a week or so ago that actually they're both from Tarot Mania. And so I was going to buy this deck, and then I saw this on the Oracle deck, and I thought, oh, that's Tarot Mania as well. I hadn't, because decks go on to lists at different times, I hadn't made the connection. And so I thought, well, if I'm buying from overseas, it's Europe, it's not from the States, to save on postage and everything else, I will get them both together. So we are looking at Tarot Lubok. I love this art style. It's kind of medieval Russian woodcuts. Colours are great. The artwork is fantastic. Eugene Vanitsky is the creator, the guy behind Tarot Mania. It's got a certificate here of authenticity. Original artwork created by Eugene Vanitsky. And I mean, original artwork, you've got me already. Now this I obsessed over because I'm not hugely into oracle decks. And the reason why I'm not hugely into oracle decks is because I just find that I only use them as a clarifier. So, case in point, the Sun Rider Oracle, which was created by my good friend Ramon over at Moon Scarab, created this for me, and it's taking parts of Pixie's artwork and giving you a keyword, as you can see from the RWS. Now, I love this deck. I love it. And if you saw my top 10 Oracle decks of all time, this is number one. And the reason why I love it so much is because I use it as a clarifier. So if I'm doing a reading, I might throw down a card from that just to give some kind of either clarification or some emphasis. But I've never really found a deck, an Oracle deck, that I could just kind of pair up with a tarot. I mean, Oracle of Echoes is another one I love, and that obviously pairs with Tarot of Echoes. But in terms of just, you know, having a really cool vintage type Oracle deck. And then I can't even remember where I saw it, but this is Travel Pocket Oracle, again by Eugene Vanitsky. This artwork here is very misleading. That's not what they look like at all. But I love the images in this. It's got a very vintage feel, and I think they'll pair beautifully. So, and again, we've got a certificate of authenticity here. Okay, so let's look at them in turn. So we'll take a look first at Tarot Lubok. And there's not a huge, now I think there's the English title one and there is a Russian one. I don't think there is a huge amount of walkthroughs, because when I've tried to watch a walkthrough, they've not been in English, or it's part of a bigger discussion. So yeah, this will hopefully change that. I love the box. It feels like this is a wooden box. It's really, really sturdy. Tarot Lubok, Tarot Mania. So it's two-part. On the side it says Tarot deck has 79 cards and full printed booklet in colour. 79 cards. Am I remembering? Yeah, so really, really sturdy. Really impressed with that box. We'll take I love the inside as well. In fact, let's bring the camera down a little bit. Yeah, so if you'll have a look on the inside, it's really nice. It's the same design, more or less, of the back of the cards. Again, really, really sturdy. And it gives us a feeling that this is a wooden box. And I can always remember back in the 80s, when I was a kid, you used to have to keep your tarot in wooden boxes. I mean, it's nonsense, but when I got my tarot deck, I was told, you know, you must keep it in a wooden box or wrap it in silk. That was the other one. So take off that. Oh, look at the artwork. I love it. I love it so much. This is the book. So as you can see, it's in English. Yeah, there is the Tapo Lubok in Russian. So we've got a little bit about an introduction, Lubok as a genre of art, and then we go into the cards, and it looks like we get a page and a half. Is that the same with the minors? Yeah, decent amount of information, and it describes the scene here. So if the card shows retired military men, former servicemen who gathered at the table to recall the past, their friendship, fighting, and their military campaigns. So it does kind of set the scene as well. So that's nice. Is there anything at the back about Eugene? Got another other tarot decks. Another tarot decks. Love that. Lost in translation a bit there, but yeah, that's cool. I think it's a standard tarot size looking at it. Yeah, absolutely exact tarot size. Cardstock is wonderful. Hoping that the oracle's like this as well. It's really nice, decent, thick cardstock. Not too thick. It's got a very silky finish. Kind of reminds me of US games a little bit. Maybe a little bit thicker even. These are the backs, which are lovely. Again, we get that sort of medieval image of a face in the sun. We've got the moon, the eclipsed moon. Yeah, really like that back design. And I just know this is going to be a favourite of mine. It's a chunky deck because of the nice card stock. So we're starting with our Fool. I'm trying to remember what the 79th card is. I think I remember. I think it's one that's split in half. A bit like a playing card. It might have a queen and a knight or something like that. But that can be used as a significator. So here's our Fool. Love that. The Magician. We've got this goat here wearing a coat, banging his drum. Love the colours. The colours are gorgeous. I hope they're coming out on camera. The High Priestess, beautiful. The pinks and the purples or blues here, giving like a purple effect. Empress, look at her rosy cheeks. The Emperor. Wow, this is such good quality, really good quality deck. Here's our Hierophant. Our Lovers. And the detailing, the line work is really clear. The colours are vibrant, beautiful. The Chariot. Got this kind of centaur, minotaur type being here. Wow, look at this. Riding a 7-headed beast, demon, nudity. Love the Hermit card. It takes on a darker tone to the other cards, which are a little bit lighter, which gives that sense of nighttime or dusk. Light in the way we've got a serpent here, look. And it feels quite barren. The tree's bare, the land is bare. Beautiful. Our Wheel of Fortune on a merry-go-round. This is really clever actually, because we've got the sun on one side and we've got a rain cloud on the other, and that's life, isn't it? As we go round and round the merry-go-round, sometimes it's shining, other times, yeah, we're being rained on. But they're all making the most of the situation. They're accepting the ride, they're accepting the journey, they're embracing the changes. I love it. I think it's brilliant. Justice. Justice is blind or blindfolded, but representing blind justice. Oh, look at the coins falling out the pockets, the hanged man. death is epic. Look at this death card. Look at the colours as well. So, I don't know why it's taken me a year to get this, but I'm so glad that I have this deck now. Temperance. Our devil. Got a purple devil. The tower. The star. It's taking the star out of the sky, look. And it looks like our temperance. I was wearing different clothing, but the moon, I love the moon card. Stunning. This is the image from the front of the box. Our sun card, and also the back image here, look, with the sun and the moon. But very sort of Charles Atlas, carrying the weight. We have Judgment. Love it. And then we have the World card. Two of Wands. Why have we gone into Two of Wands? Let me put this in order. Okay, so there's the majors. I've put the cards in order. They grouped them into all the twos, all the threes, all the fours, etc. And then the aces were at the back, and then all of the court suits. And then this card. So this is the 79th card. And you can see it's split to Cavalier and Lady. So my intention for this card is to use this as a significator, and I'll have it this way up, shuffle it into the deck, and then obviously I can look at the card that comes before, the card that comes after. Yeah, so that's that card. And then we will press on and look at the minors. We're starting with the cups. I always like to, I have my particular quirks. And one is, I mean, once the deck's shuffled, it doesn't matter, does it? But I always have mine, when I reset a deck and put it back in order, it's cups, wands, swords and pentacles. So our Ace of Cups, I love this. They're sitting there, we've got this mermaid, and they're very enamoured by each other, shall we say, and there's somebody here who needs help. They're not really paying attention, but... And again, I just love these. Do you know, as daft as it might seem, it almost gives me like a Punch and Judy feel. That's the vibe I'm getting in terms of some of the facial expressions. And Four of Cups. The colours are beautiful. I just really hope that that's coming out on camera, because when I looked at these and I've watched the walkthroughs that I could find, I don't think the vibrancy and just how beautiful the colours are. I mean, you can tell that it's the woodblock style, and that's what gives it that old vintage feel. I absolutely love it. I even like the font that they're using. And we have our wand, so it's a huge wand. Someone's even climbing it. Looks like someone's fallen. The characters in this are just great. I think I've seen an image similar to this. I mean, owls have appeared in other kind of medieval style decks, and they seem to have this same sort of image. I mean, this is hand drawn anyway by Eugene, but I'm sure that's where he's taken inspiration from. interesting. For the 8 of Wands here, we've got these, it's almost like when you look into the sky and you see the clouds and you make patterns or shapes. And we've got these galloping horses that is part of the sky. Wow. Oh, a little imp. No wonder he feels the weight and pressure. And he's also dragging this cart. Isn't this just fantastic? And to be honest, and I guess because I did have to pay tax, but I guess because it's in Europe rather than from the US or further afield like Australia, etc. It wasn't that expensive. I probably paid the same for this tarot and oracle deck as I paid for the magical nature tarot from the States. So I have limited myself to a budget each month. I'm already thinking though, oh, I don't want to buy a deck next month. I want to work with this forever. I love it when you buy a deck and it gives you that feeling of, yes, I can see myself using this a lot. I can see myself using this to read for others as well as myself. And then you don't always get the, wow, look at that for the Ten of Swords. You don't always get the desire to get another deck. So we will see. If I get another deck next month, this could perhaps go to my evening. Coins. And I love the fact that even though, you know, these are inspired by old wood block and you know, it's modern enough to incorporate RWS imagery. Although some deviate. Look at this. I mean, this is a great 7 of coins, isn't it? Pushing that boulder up a hill. Absolutely love that. I love everything about it. The cardstock is the most ideal cardstock for me. Lovely, silky. I mean, it's that sort of cardstock where, you know, you can move them around and they're just glorious. The right thickness, the right size. Love it. So I love the cardstock, the production quality, the images, the artwork, love everything about it. All right, so let's pop that there and let's now have a look at the Travel Pocket Oracle. This I've obsessed over. I've watched so many walkthroughs. Again, in a beautiful, this is a matte finished box. Nice and sturdy. It says Travel Pocket Oracle, Taromania. Eugene Vinitsky and Elsa Nukovisky. I apologise, Elsa, for butchering your name. That's the inside of the box here. Again, very sturdy. We just have a little white book with some little meanings in here. This is going to pair so well. Oh gosh, look at these. So these are a different type of cardstock. Why it's called a pocket oracle, I don't know. And I did know before ordering it that it wouldn't be pocket, because it's not pocket. It's probably the size of a tarot. I guess it's pocket in as much as it's not a huge oracle size that we sometimes get, or the wider cardstock that we often associate with oracle decks. These are the backs, which I love. It gives it a kind of mossy type feel. The cardstock of this is matte, and it is a beautiful, really soft, luxurious matte. A little bit thinner than the tarot, but still really good cardstock. But oh, I just love the look of this. I think there's 52, like a playing card, yeah, 52 cards. There are key phrases on the cards as well, which is great. You've got a little white book should you want a further kind of explanation or divinatory meaning, but there's something if you just on the cards if you just want a a quick reading. But again, this is in that sort of woodblock style where the ink doesn't fit the lines, and I love that. If anybody says to me, what do you like in a tarot deck or oracle deck? What art style do you prefer? It is this. Hand-drawn, vintage feel, not modern computer generated or collage. They have their place, but for me, this is tarot, and I absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Okay, so when the sun rises, it rises for everyone. Then we have Lone Warrior, one in the field but without a shield. Wow, that really does make you feel kind of exposed as a lone warrior. 3 is idle porters. When there's no agreement, the burden is heavy. The cheerful lady. A lively spirit is never alone. So, a drink before it goes cold. Devotion. A good dog deserves a good bone. And I mean, look at the ink. If you picked up this card and just saw this image, you would think it's from a bygone era. Everything, like the moon, has a dark side. Yeah. Stingy. Or is it stingy? Driving a horse to death won't get your cargo home. Stingy. Stingy. Fast carriage. While rushing towards your goal, don't forget to look at the road. See, if I pull this card, I'd be like, right, that's what I need to focus on. Focus on where I'm going, and to go carefully, cautiously. Bell, for whom the bell toll, a message is waiting. We have heart. The heart might be broken, but it's always beating. And that's the image off the box. And the reason why I said don't let this kind of, if you saw this on the shelf, I would think that this would be just an ink drawn deck, monochromatic or something, or Much Ado About Nothing for the drummer. Young dancers, To lead a dance allows others to follow. This is lovely cardstock. Oh my gosh. My home is my castle. Doctor, more expensive than health is the cost of the treatment. It's an unfortunate thing to have, a place to have an ailment. Don't live in your dreams. Thinking is the essence of wisdom. Yeah. Lamplighter gives a light when you need it. Many hands make light work. The number of times I've had that phrase. Shoemakers. The witch doctor, those who don't believe in magic will never find it. So true. The wild bull, even the powerful ox has no defense against flies. Quite deep, aren't they? Better to be the head of a lizard than the tail of a dragon. The red dragon. Then we have the blue dragon. Better to sit all night than go to bed with a dragon. I kind of get what that means, but it's also quite funny. King, the lion rejoices. The lion rejoices not in his prey, but in his victory. The great eagle, fly as high as you can. And then we have listen to advice, but follow your heart, father and son. At the halfway point, when life takes the wind out of your sails, it is a test. It is to test you at the oars. Not everyone you meet is your friend. That is so true. Stranger. I also think that actually all of our friends were also once a stranger, but it is a cautionary tale that not everybody is your friend, for sure. The flick of the lady's fan easily sweeps away sad thoughts. The lady with the fan. Battleship, a smooth sea never made a skilled sailor. Yeah. You need the rough with the smooth sometimes. The old wine and friends improve with age. Hunt or be hunted. Rider. The horse loves oats, the earth and manure. Then we have the devil. Do not walk the road or walk in the way of the devil. Love it. The best are ahead. A wise warrior avoids the battle. The poor knight, his own rider and his horse. Improvise. Mermaids don't lose sleep over the opinion of shrimp. I like that. I like that. Astronomer, when you don't see the moon for the stars. Power has no place where there is a skill. Brave warrior. We have blind Cupid. Love looks not with eyes, but with the heart. There is a time to fish and a time to dry nets. choice. If you have a good cellar at home, don't go drinking at the tavern. Yeah, I mean, I'm happiest in my own cave. Do as I say, not as I do. Oh my gosh, that was my mum's phrase. She used to say that to me all the time. Do as I say, not as I do. Trap. Persuasion. Don't be too quick to believe what you hear. A woman is a flower that turns into a fruit in marriage. No matter where I am, I'm yours. Aww. Oh, the drunkard. I'll never get drunk no more. Or forgive the double negative. The hermit, better alone than in bad company. Trust yourself. Amen. Better alone than in bad company. Yeah, and trust yourself. Outwit the devil. Devil and lady. It takes great wisdom to play the fool. Do the work of the devil and he'll take you with him. So that's man and the devil. And then we have the death card. You have no choice. We always have choice. I suppose things end. Death is the ending of something, but again, the beginning of a new. And some things we can't take control over. We have to adapt and go with the flow sometimes. So I'm interpreting it that way. Fantastic, fantastic deck. Love it. The cardstock, oh, it's almost like rose petal. It's just beautiful. Both decks are absolutely amazing. I love them. I cannot wait to start working with them. I was going to wait right till the end of the month to undo these, but I couldn't wait. As soon as they arrived, I had to record it, irrespective of when I put this video out. Let me know your thoughts. Do you have either? Yeah, and just let me know your thoughts. What do you think of them? Do put any questions or comments below. Okay, so before I go, I said I would mention the deck that I've been working with through March, which, as I mentioned at the beginning of this, is the Magical Nature Tarot. Really loved working with this. I'm almost sad that the month's coming to an end. That doesn't mean that I can't work with it again, of course not, but yeah, it's just a fantastic, fantastic deck. We'll start with the guidebook. The guidebook actually is really insightful. There's lots of information in here. There's the channeled guidance, which I think is really nice, but you also get guiding words and ideas, which are almost like little, not mantras, but, you know, just something to kind of, if you want that quick sort of reference when you're doing reading. They give you all of the associations with the card, including, you know, the plants and dyes and everything like that that's been used. But I think the guidebook overall provides a meaningful, or provides meaningful, I should say, interpretations with a mix of traditional as well as, you know, the nature-based wisdom. It's really, really nice in terms of a guidebook. I've delved in a few times. For me, guidebooks are wonderful to, particularly when you start working with a deck, particularly when it's written in a certain way. and you get the artist's interpretations and the artist's feel for their deck and what it is they're wanting to convey. So I find it useful for that. But I do have to admit, with guidebooks, or with decks I should say, I tend not to grab the guidebooks very often after the first few, because I just want to connect with the deck and kind of have my own sort of connection with it without being too influenced. Let's bring the camera down a smidgen. Okay, so that should be better. So I'll just show you a few images and I'll talk about it. So as you know, the cardstock appears very thin, but it's eco herbage cardstock. So it is made with sustainable materials and it offers a really unique feel. And it aligns perfectly with the deck's nature-based themes. It's just wonderful. When I first got it, I thought, oh, that feels really nice. I did have a eco herbage deck once before, a couple of years ago, and I passed it on because I couldn't get on with it. But it's different to any other cardstock I've got. The deck is really really light, but the deck practices what it preaches, you know, in terms of having a nature-based deck and using plant dyes and all things like that. Then having the cardstock in eco herbage makes sense. As for the illustrations in the deck, I think the artwork in this is really rich and submersive. And it just seems to, how can we put it? It just seems to bring nature and magic just in such a beautiful and stunning way. I mean, this is technically a collage deck, but I just don't see it as a collage deck. The symbolism is very intuitive, and that's what I was talking about as well. You know, as I've worked with this throughout the month, yes, I have used the guidebook, but not a whole lot, because I do find that the symbolism in this deck is really intuitive, and because it blends traditional tarot meanings with natural elements, it really makes it easy to connect with as well. I find also, because it's a nature-based deck, it's really earthy. It's very grounding to work with. And I think it's a perfect deck for those who feel drawn to nature, because it does offer that deep sense of connection to the natural world. I've just loved it. And as you'll see, it's got a soft vibe, it's got a soft energy, but it's also a really powerful deck. So it melds the two together beautifully to get something quite soft but powerful. It's very gentle, but it does deliver very clear, very strong messages, which I just think is perfect. I think it's accessible for people at all levels as well. That it's not a complicated deck. You don't look at the image. I mean, look, a death card, we've got a skull. You know, it's the Two of Swords. If you're used to tarot, or even if you're just starting out, you know, I think it's very, not only intuitive, but very easy to read. And I did debate, and as I say, it was Mary, Gently Living Out Loud, where I first saw this deck, and I contacted her and we had a chat, and I said, do I really need the guidebook? And she was saying, well, there's PDFs available, it's up to you if you need the guidebook, but probably not. If I was advising anybody else, I'd say, well, yeah, if you can afford it, get the guidebook because it's beautifully written, but it's not, in my opinion, it's not essential. It's not a necessity, because I think this deck is accessible whether you're a beginner or an experienced reader. The deck feels approachable, but at the same time, it's layered and it's got depth to it. I also have used this over the last month for introspection. I tend to do that a lot with decks that are powerful like this. So I do think it encourages self-reflection and personal growth, certainly through these kind of grounding and nature-based themes. And then the only other thing really I think I wanted to mention is that I think this is great for seasonal work as well. At first, when I picked it up, I was thinking, we're going into spring, this feels quite autumnal. But actually, I think because this connects as well to the seasons, the moon phases, because it's nature-based and nature follows a cycle, doesn't it? Very much aligned to the seasons. This, I think you could use it for any season, really. I think if I was to, I don't know, I think if I had to choose a season, I probably might start in autumn. I don't know why. I think it's just because of the earthy colour tones. And maybe note to self, I'll dig this out again come September, October time. Oh, it's just beautiful. So overall, I think it's a deck that feels magical. It's gentle, so therefore it's very supportive. It's deeply connected to the rhythms of life. And yeah, I just think the illustration, let's finish with a duck, of course. I think it's beautifully illustrated. And yeah, for me, this is a 9 out of 10 deck. And also, I always have to say, when there's an accompanying guidebook, I think it's really important that you at least take some time to get a feel of what the creator is trying to convey. And this has some beautiful interpretations, and that sort of mixed with, you know, guidance, channeled guidance, but also very connected to cycles. So that was my month with the Magical Nature Tarot. I will, you know, do my next video in this kind of series. I don't know why I keep doing these rabbit ears all of a sudden. I've got to stop it. I find it really annoying. When I've had a good month at working with Tarot Lubok and the Pocket Oracle, Travel Pocket Oracle, even though it's the same size as a tarot deck. Yeah, so I'll show you what I'm going to be working with during May and let you know how I got on with these beauties in April. Thanks for watching, everyone, and until next time, go in peace. Namaste and blessed be.